and welcome to Alex Anderson's IEP transition meeting. We're here with the parents as well as the rest of the IEP transition team. My name is Ms. Wilcox. I'm Alex's Algebra 1 teacher, but let's go ahead and continue with this meeting and see what we're here to talk about today. Alright, so just going over Alex a little bit, he has been diagnosed with ADHD, otherwise known as Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. That is what his IEP is for, and that is what all of his accommodations are for, is for his ADHD. He has also been diagnosed with auditory processing disorder. His IEP is not designated for that, but he has been diagnosed and accommodations are made for that, as well as he is tested annually for his auditory processing disorder. As far as Alex himself, he's very social. He's the class clown. He's always known for making the teachers and the students laugh. So socially, he's on point. He has a passion for sports, including soccer, basketball, and college football. It's pretty much all he can talk about, as well as video games involving anything sports. His strengths are science, history, and reading. He loves to read. He actually had trouble reading throughout middle school, but after getting put into intensive reading programs, he got on grade level. And even though he's not above average for reading, he enjoys reading, especially about history and the Titanic specifically. He loves reading about the Titanic. His weaknesses, however, are math and language arts. That's where his biggest struggles are, and that's especially because of the attention deficit disorder, but we will go into that further in this PowerPoint. After high school, he's unsure of what he wants to do. He feels though he wants a soccer scholarship and wants to become a professional soccer player. We're trying to get him in the mode into thinking about other realistic career paths, maybe something with video games or maybe vocational school, but we will go over that in the future as well. Alright, so Alex's grades this quarter, he's doing pretty well. There's a couple grades that he can definitely raise up, but overall he's maintaining a good average. For Algebra 1 for my class, that's his lowest grade. He's got a 74 out of 100. We'll go over that more in detail. For world history, like I said, he's a big history fanatic, so he's got an 88 out of 100, a B, doing solid, could easily bring that up to an A by the end of the quarter. Chemistry, 79 out of 100. While that is a high C, and we'd like to see him a little bit higher than that, especially with his passion of science, we feel as though it's because chemistry is very math-based, and so he's struggling in the math portions of chemistry as opposed to the science portions. Language arts, also a C. Like I said, language arts is one of his weaknesses, but the language arts teacher will go over that further in a later meeting. Intensive reading, he's got an A, and physical fitness an A as well, so he's doing good in those classes. So let's just focus on Algebra 1 now. For his quarter grades this semester, he's doing overall, but there's definitely a pattern where he's having difficulties, and the pattern is with his homework. He's got a low grade for homework. It's currently a 16 out of 40. Homework is not graded on correct. It's not graded for accuracy, it's graded for completion. So his low grade isn't because he's doing poorly on the homework, but because he isn't doing the homework at all. So that's something that we really need to focus on. He's also got low grades. He has on his test, he has a 68 out of 100 on his unit test that we have this semester, and that's easily reflected upon the low homework grade. With math, you have to practice inside school and outside of school to make sure that the concepts are fully integrated into your mind. And if he's not having that outside of school practice, he's not going to do well on the test. So it's kind of a catch-22. So while his group project grades and his classwork, his grades for those are pretty high, to maintain the high grades overall, we need to make sure that he's doing the homework at home, studying at home, and then doing well on the tests. So, my class is 20% lecture, 30% guided discussion, 25% group work, 10% independent work, and 5% quizzes and tests. So that's not how it's weighted, but just how I portion the time every day for class. Group work is a big part of our class, and that is where Alex thrives, because he's, like I said, he's very social, and he enjoys conversing with his peers, and so group work is great for him because he's able to discuss any of his issues or problems that he may have on these assignments while it's going on. And then they can all work together to get a good grade on a test, as opposed to just focusing on him. With his ADHD, he often has trouble focusing and keeping on task, but when he has others around him keeping him on task, he's able to focus and maintain doing the work in the classroom. This is a remedial algebra class for grades 9 through 11. So as you know, Alex is in 10th grade, so he's right in the middle there, but he's with people from, like I said, grades 9 through 11 in this class. And so we do go over the topics a little bit slower than we would in other courses, but it's helpful for him because he's able to get an in-depth review over all of these concepts. We go over basically the basics of solving systems of equations, polynomials, factoring, and how to solve those problems, as well as how to solve those problems in real-world problems. So what you would know as word problems. Those are often the most difficult problems for kids like Alex because since he has trouble with language arts, it involves reading comprehension and math. So like I said, the best way to make sure that he's understanding those concepts is practice, 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 which means practicing at home and in school. All right, next slide. Here's Alex's progress. Like I said, we're doing pretty steady here, as you can see, with the participation in class, the classwork, and everything like that. But as you can see here, the homework is on the lower side, and at the same time, our tests and quizzes are going on a downward slope, which is not what we want to see. We want to see him doing well and going up and maintaining a solid average. So I feel like I say it a lot, but it's just I want to just really emphasize the fact that we need to make sure he is doing his homework so that he can do well on the tests and the quizzes. So, as I said, I know it's hard for him with his ADHD to possibly do homework. I've done a lot of research on the medications that kids with ADHD often take, and I know that usually by the end of the day they are wearing off. So I imagine by the time he's getting home, his medication is wearing off, and therefore it becomes extremely difficult for him to do his homework at home. I'm willing to offer for him to come into my class either before school or during his lunch period and work on his homework in my classroom. I can give him help there or just give him a quiet place for him to focus so he can do his homework before class. And that way, he gets the grade for completion and he's getting the practice while his medication is in full effect. Because we just want to make sure that that's getting done so that he can succeed to the best of his ability. I also would like to recommend that next year we do have a study hall course. It's essentially what you would think it is. Instead of having like physical fitness for a class, he would have a study hall where he would strictly just do homework in a classroom. No student wants to sign up for that, but we do want him to succeed, and I think that would be best with his medication to be able to have a course like that in school. Something that I'm doing in my class for kids like Alex is a learning strategy called Focus. This is a mnemonic device that we teach the students, and then we also base our teaching strategies off of this mnemonic so that we all know the outcomes that we're trying to get. And FOCUS stands for F, focus on the speaker, O, open your mind, C, connect, that's connecting all of the different topics that we are learning, U, use your eyes, which is saying when I say you and I want them to use their eyes, that means look at the whiteboard, look at their textbook, make sure that their eyes are focused on whatever we're doing. And then S, select, and that's to select the information that they need to maintain and keep in their brain and not just keep the random facts, because kids with ADHD are very good at remembering little things as opposed to the important things because their mind can be all over the place. This strategy has really shown improvement for Alex, and I'm continuing to use it. I have information on this slideshow, which I will give you a copy of this slideshow so that you guys can review it at home, and there's a link for you to use if you want to learn more about this focus strategy that I'm using. So this is a transition IEP meeting, so we do need to think about what the next step is for Alex. Being in 10th grade, he is getting to the point where he needs to think about what he's going to do after high school and for the rest of high school. As I said before, he's really interested in becoming a professional sports player. I fully support that, but we also need to look into some realistic goals as well in terms of a job that you would get, you go to school and get a degree for, because obviously we all want our kids to go to college and get a degree. That doesn't necessarily mean a four-year school, so we do want to show him the options of vocational schools as well as community colleges. Keep all the options open. But our next focus is going to be the SATs and the ACTs. Since Alex has ADHD, the test taking can be difficult, so we need to really start focusing on him getting into study groups and SAT, getting a tutor for SAT or ACTs, so that he is able to practice sitting in a classroom setting for 5 hours taking a test. Because sadly, they don't have the accommodations that we would hope for these standardized tests for Alex, like they do with FCAT and like we do for him in our school. We want to make sure that he is taking these tests as early as possible so that we can, if he needs to retake to get a higher score, he has the ability to do that. We don't want to wait till the last minute because we want him to get the highest score possible before we start sending in applications to schools. As I said before, Alex has shown an interest in video games, so I think it would be beneficial to potentially sign him up for a computer programming class next year so that he can see what would really be involved if he decided to go into the video game industry. But yeah, other than that, I just want to continue to say that open communication with all of your teachers is really important. I'm here to help Alex this year, next year, whenever you need me. Like I said, I'll give you this PowerPoint, but my information is on here, my email and my phone number. Please feel free to contact me whenever you need if you have any questions. I really want to make sure Alex can succeed to the best of his abilities, and I want to work with you to get him to that next level. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. And there you are, and this is the slide with all the information for you if you want to look into what we talked to today. So thank you very much.